Hello, one and all, for this Thursday night live stream reactions to the team sheets and all of the wonderful things that go along with it. As apologies for the late start. It is once again very difficult to start the stream at exactly 5:30 with traffic and trying to get back from work on time. It is very stressful, but I gotta say, I did have a nice little hack run tonight on the way back home. Apparently, there was a big red X on the far right lane of the Monash Freeway saying it's closed. There is an incident between these two exits, and I just kept going along that lane. I just kept going along that lane on the far right and managed to shave off quite a bit of time. Illegal, maybe, but it worked very well. It helped me get here on time, a little bit late. Jen, how's it going? Thanks for coming on. West Coast Eagles rule. Thanks for coming on, mate. I'm doing well. G'day, Jono. How are we all doing? Thank you all so much for coming in. Again, apologies once again on the tardiness, the late start. I have sent the link to Big J, so maybe we might get another episode of Kardashian, Car Cash In. Yes, Causa, we are praying Laird is gonna be out this week. The fun never stops with Supercoach. The fun never stops. Rory Laird will miss this week. So that's one piece of news that we won't have to sit and worry about. The only question is how long. So I can tell you. So I've got some here on the side. I've got some notes in terms of who's going to play. I can see here that Dunkley will play. I most likely Dunkley should be back this week. I can see here, obviously, Weller's not going to play. From Josh Carr, the Port Adelaide assistant coach, he's saying that Butters will be fine and that he is playing this weekend. The scans were all clear. So if you are a Butters owner, congratulations. Looks like Butters will play. He is available as confirmed by Josh Carr. Sean Darcy will miss at least 2 weeks. So Sean Darcy is not going to be playing this week. He's going to miss at least 2. So if anyone wants to have a sneaky pod and trade in a guy like Luke Jackson, I'm not sure how worth it is just for 2 weeks. Alistair Clarkson is going to come back this year. Big whoop. Darcy Cameron, as you say, Jen, DC could be back this week. This is from the Collingwood FC. They said that about Darcy Cameron, that he completed a solid running session last weekend. He trained early this week and is expected to complete full training later this week. And hopefully he will be available for selection. He will be assessed later in the week. So that does sound promising from a Darcy Cameron perspective. So I unfortunately traded out Darcy Cameron last week. I didn't want to wait. I wasn't sure about Marich, and I ended up getting Mills. So this decision might come to bite me in the ass, but it looks like DC could well and truly be back. So that's pretty good. Hearing could be back for the showdown. Well, if that's about Laird, fingers crossed he can come back for us owners. The good thing is I've got 2 people. I've got both Johnson and Humphrey, so I can cover both Green and Laird this week. That's the benefit of having the extra cover. I wish it was an extra primo, but it is what it is. I used too many trades earlier in the season, so I could not do that. You can play the training today. Good. Thank you, Jen. Thank you very much for the Collingwood insight. You're a superstar. You are our resident Collingwood expert, Jen. Would love to have you on Fancast, by the way. I know Swizz has been trying to get you one, so that would be excellent. Apparently there's going to be no DeGoey, though, this week. So can you please confirm, Jen, if DeGoey is not going to play? That would be very interesting. That would be a massive out for you guys against Port Adelaide if DeGoey doesn't play. But yeah, Matthew Nicks confirmed about Laird that he's not going to play this week. And that Matt Crouch is more than likely to come in. That's the name we haven't heard in a long time. Yes, as you say, Causa, Ethan Stanley will debut. He is a Fremantle player. Ethan Stanley. I'm sure that he is a 102k mid forward. He'll be the sub. So a big congratulations to Ethan Stanley. Hope he goes very well. And what's this? It's been less than 2 months since Matt Coulthard arrived at Tigerland by the Midseason. All right, and we'll also have Matt Coulthard. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but Matt from the Tigers, the mid-season rookie draft player, will also be debuting. So if I just search him up, he is a 102k forward. He will also play according to Richmond FC. So we've got a couple of rookies getting their debut. Jen, he didn't train today, but he should play. That's about DeGoey. So that's definitely a big watch and see, because if DeGoey doesn't come up and doesn't play, then that is going to be very difficult. Where did I get that information about Jordan DeGoey? I got here from Mitch Cleary. He will travel with the team. That's good. So Mitch Cleary said that Jordan DeGoey will train off-site today in his bid to overcome illness. So he's had illness, okay, to play against Port Adelaide. Darcy Cameron and Brodie Myercheck both available. Craig McRae said it'll be hard to leave them out. So there you go. It looks if Craig McRae has said that it will be hard to leave Darcy Cameron out, then that is sensational news for everybody who held him. I feel like a fool right now. Yeah, Sportsnut, Laird is out. It is confirmed. Matthew Nicks himself, the coach of the Adelaide Crows, has said it that Laird will not play this Sunday against Melbourne. And he said that Matt Crouch is more than likely to play, as he has been a standout in the Sandful. So that is massive news. Once again, a lot of us are not going to have a full primo side to field, and everyone who's managed to get the extra premiums on the bench are certainly loving life at the moment. So yes, that for now all the news that I've got at the moment. Yes, Sportsnut, both of those guys are going to be in by the looks of things. They've both been given the tick to go ahead, so it's looking really good. Yeah, Causa Soligo also is not unlikely to play as well. Lukey, mate, how's it going? Fist pump to you too. When will we have all primos playing at the same time again? Tough back end of the season. I know it is. It has been very annoying, to say the least. And this has certainly been one of the most difficult and most trying Supercoach seasons, I think, in recent times. Certainly, we got more trades, but we've been thrown more curveballs than ever before, dare I say it. So, been a tough season. We're almost at the end. We're almost there. And a lot of people are already starting to look forward to next year. So we're at that point of the season now where a lot of teams are cruising, and it's just trying to field enough players and not copping any donuts. That's exactly. I was thinking that as well, Michael. That Keys could really benefit if it means that he could finally get some more CBAs, because his CBA certainly dropped in recent weeks for some weird reason. I don't know why they've decided to take away his CBAs. You know, he had a lot of CBAs last week though against the Giants, so he was back up to 81%. So you're right, it could be good for him. The only thing is, if they're going to get Crouch back, Crouch can't play anywhere else but on the ball. That's the problem with Crouch. So it might be a high percentage of CBAs again, but as we can see from last week, just because you have a lot of CBAs doesn't necessarily mean you're going to score well. Causa, hoping Matt Roberts plays this week so I can loop Marich and Roberts this week. Marich. Yeah, Roberts will be interesting. I'm not sure if Roberts is Is Roberts back from injury now? That would be really impressive. So let's have a look at let's try and see if the Sydney Swans have anything to say about their injury updates. Here we are. This was updated 2 days ago. Let me just share the screen. It might be better to have you guys be involved with that to see what I'm seeing. So yeah, Sheldrick is going to miss the rest of the season. Melican. There's no mention of Roberts. So since he's not mentioned here, it could mean that Roberts is back, which is very impressive if that's the case. Does he automatically play this week? Only time will tell, I suppose. So that's a very interesting proposition if he plays. If these two players, I will have him, Dunkley, and Butters playing, and we'll have a 4 primers on the board. Oh, that is excellent news, Jen. It looks like you're going to have a 4 primo team. Looks like, luck is finally starting to turn your way here. That is very, very good. 1 trade left. Is it worth going Briggs to Gawn, given both players' final 6-game draw got good bench cover? The thing is Gawn really going to solo ruck for the rest of the year? Is he really doing that? Like, have they genuinely relegated Grundy to forward now? He is a shit forward. I don't know, man. I really have no idea if that's actually going to be the case moving forward. It feels unlikely to me. Causa also heard a rumor that Jack Hayes or Campbell will play this week as Marshall has been training up forward this week. Oof. Interesting. If that's the case, then I will not have Marshall as my captain. Roberts played well in the VFL last week. Well, if that's the case, then Roberts could be back. For all you owners of Roberts who've held on to him for so long, I don't have him anymore. I got rid of him ages ago. So yeah, Roberts could be back. I know they rate him really highly, and he wasn't in the early team for no reason, right? He's a very good player. So Roberts could be back, and I think Roberts against Freo, that's a really good matchup. So that is a really exciting prospect for you guys who own him. So cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that Briggs to Gawn trade rule. Look, if you say you got good bench cover, look, I still think it's a bit too early to trigger that last trade of the season. You know what I mean? We're still around 19. I would feel more confident. I'd be more comfortable using that last trade, maybe with 4 weeks left. 4 weeks and under. I think that would be probably the best time to use that last trade. There's still quite a bit of footy to come, and it's not just injuries, it's also suspensions. So I don't know. I just feel like it's good to keep that trade for a rainy day, to be completely honest with you. And I'm personally thinking that last trade for me might be trading to get in a guy like George Hewitt, who I think for his price point is really good, very hard to turn down. It's given my cash, it's now or never to do this one. Yeah, I know, but will Gawn solo ruck, man? Is Gawn going to solo ruck all year for the rest of the season? Is Gawn going to solo ruck? I understand. Like they're paying him. They're paying Grundy way too much money. You know what I mean? I know Collingwood are contributing to his salary, but they're not paying Grundy to be rucking in the VFL. I just can't see it. And Grundy cannot play forward. You don't learn suddenly how to play forward in the span of a couple of weeks' time. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with Jen. I don't think Gawn's going to solo ruck for the rest of the year. You haven't traded in a guy of Grundy's caliber to leave him in the VFL. Like, it would be the biggest laughing stock for themselves to admit that we got this wrong, that we've traded to get this big guy in who is a number one ruck, who is a gun of the competition, and we're going to try and teach him how to play full forward in the VFL. I don't know about that. I think they look much better with having what's his face Petrarca in the forward line. So is there a reason then to have Grundy play forward? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I can't. I know it's $1 million question. I just don't think Grundy to West Coast. Yeah, I know, right? He would certainly fit the bill. They need a ruckman to help BJ Williams, and let's be real, Nick Nat, he's a superstar, but he just can't stay fit. And Collingwood are paying him. I know. Collingwood are paying for a guy to play VFL for Melbourne. Unbelievable. Jonas, mate, how's it going? Gawn will ruck 80%. Grundy will play okay ruck minutes for 3 quarters, forward bench, and be jumped out regularly at 3/4 time. Okay. It's annoying. That is really annoying. It's still points that he was going to be eating into Gawn. So I know Gawn will probably. I feel like it might be a Gawn and Jackson combo again. What was the ruck split when Jackson was with Gawn? Gawn will be the primary ruckman for sure, but I just don't think we're going to be seeing these 200s again. There's no way they're gonna give Grundy no ruck time. They with all that money that he's being paid, it's unbelievable. Grundy do well at Port. He would. He absolutely would. I agree with you. So there are a number of teams like, as you say, West Coast, Port, heck, even Geelong might be, won't say no to a good ruckman either. So there's a bunch of teams that won't say no to that for sure. So that's part of the reason why there's this discussion and why the allure of a mid-season draft is so strong. Because imagine during the year now, if we had a mid-season trade, Melbourne could trade him off to Port. Port would do that trade. They could trade him out to West Coast. They would do that trade. So your boy Huss, how's it going, brother? Nick Nat surgery this week. We'll find out in 4 weeks if it's career over. Yikes, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changeover that's going to be happening over that West Coast Eagles. A lot of old players. Nick Nat surgery this week. Geez, it's not what you want to hear, unfortunately. So if West Coast should certainly be happy to acquire him, but the problem with West Coast is they are not challenging for a premiership anytime soon. And it could just be that Grundy does not fit their age profile for their list. Grundy is a here and now type of player. Grundy's not someone that you're going to be building around towards your future, because that's what West Coast have to do. West Coast have to build towards their future now. Then these next upcoming kids. Bringing in a guy like Grundy now, they can't pay up for him because they're not going to be able to utilize him properly in trying to contend. I certainly reckon a team like Port Adelaide is a much better fit for Grundy. Anthony, mate, how's it going? It has been a long time. We've been here, mate. Where have you been? Huh? Where have you been? Doing well, brother. Doing well. I will be at that game tomorrow night. Us versus the Doggies. So I've got my tickets last night. Level 1 on a wing. So really excited to go see in flesh a packed out Marvel Stadium crowd. And hopefully this win gets us into the finals, mate. I really hope so. Jen, Port is in need of a ruck and would be a good... Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that. I 100% agree with you. Windhager may as well be my 22nd with all his injuries. Loving my Whitfield pick so far. Back in the top 1K. Congratulations, Anthony. Oh, mate, Whitfield is a good player. And he's certainly the way that the Giants are playing now, the surge football, him playing from behind. It's the way he loves to play. And congratulations on going back in the top 1K. That is really good to hear. I'm really happy for you, man. Corn average 113 last year with Jackson. Yeah. So I reckon that's probably going to be it will be not too dissimilar, I think, for the rest of the year. What Gorn does. The question is that enough for you to trade out for Briggs? Because how much is Briggs going to average you? Let's have a look at Briggs. What is Briggs's run home? We'll go to matches. We'll go to fixture. By club. Giants. All right. Briggs's run home is as follows. Wits this week will be tough, won't say no, but they're playing at home, which is really good for him. He's then got English. I reckon he'll do well against English in the ruck. He'll get a lot of hitouts to advantage. He's a brute of a man. He's then got the Swans at home. He's better than anyone that Sydney have got on their roster. He's then got Lie Shit, if Lie Shit is playing. He's then got us at home. Who knows if Draper's going to be back in for that game. And then is Pittonet out for the year? I don't know how long Pittonet is out for. But other than that, it's not a bad run for Briggs. So is it worth trading out Briggsy to Gorn, who might give you around 115? I don't know if that trade is worth it. Grundy will play that role, except be subbed out pretty often with Gorn in the fourth quarter solo. So if the games are close, then Gorn could get some clutch points. But I'm pretty sure Melbourne's run home is pretty favorable. Melbourne's run, Richmond, North. Oh, that'll be a big game. And then these two should be easy wins. So will be interesting. Barnett will be good. Yeah, he will be. He was the top-rated ruckman in the draft last year, and I thought he would get some games this year. To be honest, he still might get some games now in the back end of the season. But yeah, Barnett will be good. So he fits. He's part of that rebuild. Guy like Grundy, who is mature age, he has to go to a team that's competing here and now. So Barnett 100% will be very good. Yeah, English is the easiest of VCs this week. Absolutely. All right. If I had English, I would 100% be VCing him this week against us. He has a terrific record. There's no Draper still. So yeah, we have no answer for him. He's going to kill us. He is going to kill us. So yes, correct. Brizzy Bro Life is catching up with my tickets as well. Well done. Level 3 wing on level 1. Going to be mad going. I'm going to be with the little brother and some Bulldogs mates. Very nice. I'm just going by myself, and I'll be meeting up with some friends over there. By the time I was looking at tickets yesterday, there was no seats together. There was no seats together. It was all just individual seats here and there. So, mate, it's gonna be electric. It is a bloody eliminate. It's almost like a mini elimination final. This one. If we win, I reckon we make finals. If we lose, I reckon we finish 10th. Connor, how's it going, mate? Bloody hope Butters plays. I've had so many injuries over the last 2 weeks. Look, but I think Butters will play. Butters was given the tick of approval by Port Adelaide's assistant coach, Josh Carr. So he said he'll be right to go, and scans came up good. He's clear. So Butters should play, lest he be struck by some catastrophe before Saturday night. I think he's playing. Lloyd Green, Yo, Butters, Cameron, Dunkley, Laird. Yeah, mate. Lloyd, unfortunate. Green, we all have him. Yo, come on, mate. Stevie Wonder could see that Yo was going to get injured. Butters, he's back this week. Cameron, I'm not sure which Cameron you mean. Dunkley, we all have him. And Laird, we all basically have him as well. So we're all hearing that Briggs is banged up and Flynn might come in. Well, we'll see. We shall see about that. Don't know why Dacos and Glove at the same time. I know. It's ridiculous. It is so annoying what's going on there. It's ridiculous. Jonas, Grundy not going anywhere. If Melbourne kick the ball high up forward, is much better than Ben Brown states. If Gawn gets injured, the sheep porters will be saying what a great move getting Grundy was. Well, I agree. That's if Gawn gets injured. But you're paying a lot of money for a potential backup ruckman to come in. So I don't know, man. I think they're going to probably experiment with Van Rooyen pinch hitting in the ruck as well. So it's very possible that that Grundy could be on the way out, man. He really could be. Oh, Big J. We can hear you, but we can't see you. What make it happen? I don't know. I don't think he can hear us. I don't think he can hear us. We'll just mute him for now. Go Dawson, Jen, if you have him.
I'm here, everybody. Sorry, I'm late. I got stuck at work, having too much fun, but I'm on my way home. Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Nice to be here. How you doing, Joe?
In the house, mate. I love that name. I love it. He's not quite in the car just yet. He's on the way to the car.
Look, here's a car. I'm getting ready.
Very good, very good. I hope you had a good day, mate.
Yeah, work was good. Just busy.
That's good to hear. West Coast Eagles rule. Go Dawson, Jen, if you have him. Oh, Dawson captain. No Laird, so it could be a good day for Dawson for captaincy. I don't know. Personally, I'm just going Bontempelli into Goulden. I just reckon Goulden against Freo is gonna do really well. Goulden's in hot form, and I just reckon it's gonna be Goulden showers, man. There's gonna be some Goulden showers all over Freo to end their season.
Who is Adelaide playing this week?
Melbourne.
Yeah, maybe Dawson. No, Oliver. Yeah. Sucks. I think I have a donut this week, which is not fun. So I eventually get home after doing some other stuff. We'll go and see what my team looks like. Sometimes. I think Marek playing has actually saved my life. Not last week because I had like a 53, but just kind of the one rookie who I picked up at the right time. Like it's actually worked out all right.
Yeah, for sure. Anthony, what do you think of Harry Himmelberg? I avoided him. Role looks good, but he doesn't look the same. Look, I'm hoping that he comes good. The problem is the Giants are playing too good. The Giants, they're hard to beat, and they've got a lot of mouths to feed in that back half, and it's not just him racking up all these points. Plus, he's been pretty inefficient himself, so he hasn't helped himself out at all. As long as the role is good, you expect the points to follow at some point.
Yeah, I think so too.
Jen says hello.
Hey Jen, how you doing?
Jonas, Big J Dashian about to get in the Hormobile. What?
We'll see.
Why? Why is it a Hormobile? Come on, man. That's rough, Jonas. Having English, I won't need a captain. Yeah, you are so lucky, Rule. Actually, you are lucky, all right? My plan was perfect. I was going to have gone forward in English in the ruck. One CBA too many, and I've been completely cucked.
Wrecked, Joe.
The big Joe, not the big J's goal.
I think just in general, like, we were just stumped by English scoring so well for so long in general, right? That, you know, going back as far as, we probably should have just started him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, too bad. Should have just started him, you know? Sucked in.
Man, I wasn't sucked in. I timed it to perfection.
Nah. I think looking back on this season, and we'll do a bit of a remembrance of how well my season went this year. Wasn't great. Didn't have a great season. Fantastic hanging out with you guys on stream, though, for as long as we have for the whole year. I reckon, Joe, what do you reckon? We've probably done about 50 hours worth of streaming so far, at least, this season. So, I mean, that's 50 hours. We just worked the whole work week with our fans watching on the stream and everything like that. You know, feel like I've got to know these people a little bit, which is very cool. And obviously the guests and stuff we've had on. But, yeah, not starting English at the start of the season. I'll look back and just be like, the people that had English are probably top 1K. The people that didn't are so far behind.
Yeah. That was probably the difference between me last week and a bunch of and everybody else. Like the people that like I thought I had a decent week.
Yeah,
but I just didn't have Gorn and I didn't have English. So
yeah.
that difference in the ruck just
Yep.
was the difference between a good score and par. So
Yes.
you know, it sucks. It is
I
what
mean,
it is.
what he's rocking like a 150 average or something stupid.
Yeah, something ridiculous. See, Anthony caved in. English, who was too scared of injury before, and that's why you want to start the injury-prone players. You don't really want to.
You know, we prophesized this. We said it a million times during the season. At the start of the season, we said it on every stream. Every time a team review came out, everything was start the injury-prone players. We didn't, Joe. We didn't. We were like, nah, take Marshall over English. That's a good idea. No. Not happening.
Marshall washed. He is not in my team next year.
Yeah, that's it. I next year, and I think the big thing as well, because last year it was really the trend of like the ruckman kind of had lost 20 or so points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
the ruckman had lost a lot of the average score. So it was like, oh, yeah, you don't have to pay up. You know, the guys are only going to be scoring 100. Whereas this year, I don't know what the trend is. Something's happened kind of scoring-wise. And, yeah, the ruckman have gone back to their, like, 130 beasts like they've been previously to before last year. So, yeah, hopefully we can plan the trend again and we can just pick the best two people. You know, you're not starting Gawn and Grundy like it's been. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be English. If you have to pick English, who will your R2 be? Like if you have to pick English, you reckon English and Darcy?
Yeah, if Darcy goes to Geelong, he's 100% in my team. It might be freaking Darcy Jackson, mate. If Jackson becomes number one ruck, solo ruck at
I won't touch it. I think English is too good. I think English is scoring, and the way he's just being played much better that you just can't. You physically just can't not pick him.
Even at 700K, he might be 700K next year.
Maybe, but he's popping out like 140s, man. Like he just doesn't care. He's just like, bitch, please 140s. And the dog's midfield are just letting him do it because there's no Dunkley. He's just getting tap outs to Libba, and Libba's getting the points from it as well. And yeah, it's just working out really well for him. So 100%, it's just going to happen.
Anthony's saying that those Sunday night fan cams were a great experience. He appreciated it during the season, mate. It's not over yet. Those Sunday night fan cams will continue. We're on every week still, mate. Don't you worry.
Yeah, and it will be fantastic. And we'll go through. And I'm going to get the new internet very soon. I haven't been on stream this week because my home internet has been cut out. I can do it via my phone, but yeah, home internet's cut out a little bit at the moment. Getting that fixed. So, yeah, it's going to be really good when that comes back. Going to have some high-quality streams, some high-quality videos from my end, and putting out a lot more content as well. So, can't wait for that.
That's because Eagles Roar had Wits to start. They played the English run 3. Yeah, but by the time the Wits news came out, English was already playing. So, it was so tough. Yeah. Jonas, English will do a hammy this week.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But, after all the talk in the season that he's had previous, congrats to him for playing a full season, because not many rucks have. Not many rucks have played a full season this year.
Yeah. Jen, I might just go English into Dacos. You can, absolutely. Dacos is in ripping hot
Who's playing
form.
tonight, Joe?
No one. It's Thursday night. There's no footy tonight.
I thought there was footy.
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No footy, mate. Tomorrow's the footy. Connor, my antipods have been killing me lately. English Golden, even Will Day, who I traded out. Yeah, well, Big J also traded out Will Day, so
I know all about fucking Will Day, I'll tell you what. Oh, it made me so sad, man. Will Day and Jack Steele and half a dozen other players that I've traded out at points this year. Yeah. Impatience. And I think that's the one thing. A lot of the people on here have played more than one season, right? Even Joe himself now. And I think impatience is one of the things that is a huge takeaway from this season that will bring into other seasons that we play. Don't be impatient to get rid of players because they can come good, and generally they have been. Remember last year and the years before, like we'd pick Rochelle and he'd have a couple of bad weeks and then pop out 100, right, and reset his cash gen. Same with Ashcroft, right? Oh, he's finally done. He's no good. The guy's 530K or some bonkers number now. Wilmot's the same thing as well. Will Day finally came good and started playing well. Even Jack Steele. Like, these guys, people are bringing Jack Steele in to finish their team. If you were one of those people that didn't trade him out, you'd be laughing.
Yeah. I just wanted to highlight something here. This is what Goodwin said. We're not trying to turn Brodie Grundy into a forward. Let's be really clear on that. So, anyone thinking
do you reckon they'll trade him? It's a topic that I wanted to bring up last week on fan cams, but it didn't end up happening. And it's a topic that we might try and talk about this week, Joe. But is it fair to say that the Brodie Grundy Max Gawn kind of experiment has failed?
Not
now.
No.
Not yet? I think it kind of has, to the point where the clubs come out and said, hey, we're basically just going to play Van Ruin and Gawn now. Grundy, you're a good backup ruckman, but being able to play two just isn't working. And see you later almost,
Look, I think that Gawn is going to be 32 and...
Yeah, but you look at Goldstein's playing till like 35, 36.
Oh, Goldstein has got a good injury. Yeah, Goldstein's got a good injury history, though, right? He's been very durable. Whereas, I don't know. I just think two ruckmen is better than one. They won a premiership. They won a premiership with both him and Jackson. Like I think it's possible. It's genuinely good.
But I think, do you think maybe it's an ego thing then, and say, hey, well, I used to be the number one. Now, like, I can't be the number two. You know how at North, like, Cherry and Goldstein don't really work that well together? Feels a little bit like that with Gawn and Grundy. Like, one's the number one, but one's the other number one. Like, two ones can't be in a team, but a one and a two can be in a team. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you always have to have, you can't have two actors that are both leading men in the same movie. You've got to have one who's a supporting cast and then one who's a, who's the opposite.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of the same thing with these players.
Causa traded Darcy to English round 4 before the game. Yeah, that was such a clutch trade, Causa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we say, it set you up for the whole season and, doing very well because of it. So, congratulations, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, if you haven't seen already, watch DR's last, 2 minutes of the Brisbane game. Causa featured in that. Mate, those facial expressions, I tell you what, that was pretty good.
Yeah, mate. He's very emotive, Causa.
Yeah.
Jonas, Rowan Marshall is soft. The sink killed away. Yeah, I'm not doing that next year.
Yeah. I think it's set and forget. I really think and I think it punished the people that didn't go set and forget, because we're all like, oh, we can get this guy cheaper. I know that was my feeling with Marshall kind of being that price and the way he was. But I think people, if you don't go ruck, set and forget, you just get punished.
Yeah. This is for you, Noah, sped up in terms of how to redeem the tickets. You can just go onto the AFL website and I'll be able to tell you how to do that. English Briggs solo ruck supremacy. Yeah.
Maybe next year, yeah. It's hilarious how I always talk about the commentators and how out of touch they are sometimes. But it's really hilarious how many commentators are all like, oh, Briggs is gettable. He's like the third in line at GWS. Like, no, he's not. He's the number one ruck and he's dominating against like the best competition in the competition. The best rucks in the competition. He's not number 3. He's not behind bloody Flynn. He's not behind Bruce. Like, come on now.
No, he's not. He's not. Absolutely, he's not.
He's carrying them on his back and being half the reason why they're actually winning games, which is hilarious. Yeah. GWS might win this week. I think I tipped them.
GWS are playing against Gold Coast. Yeah, they will. They should.
Yeah.
Causa says, look, because of how expensive English will be, he says that means you can only choose one of Bont or English, as both will be 700k, and day cost will be around 650k as well.
Yep. It really depends. I think next year, depending on what 500k, between, I say 500k, but what I mean is between like your 500 and 600k premiums, right? Depending on who's available in the midfield, I think we might be going a bit more guns and rookies next year. I think that could have worked this year, and it's really dependent on which first rounders are actually going to be game ready, which, looking at the way it's going this year, there's probably going to be quite a few. You could have done it this year, and I think it's going to be the play next year. So you might be able to survive with getting a couple more expensive players than other times. Potentially, you could take English and Bont. I think Bont's, and we've seen it this year, right? I think Bont's going to be one of those players that, yes, you want him in your team, but you can probably afford not to start him, because I don't think he's going to come off the bat and start scoring 150s. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Tone says, how's it going, Tone? Luke Jackson's going to be huge next year if Sean Darcy moves. And Luke Jackson is the solo ruck, tapping down to Brayshaw, to Ron.
I don't think Freo will ever have him as a solo ruck. I think they'll try and do like a Josh Treacy or something like that, how they did with Sean Darcy before, Lloyd Meek and stuff, they moved and then Darcy was still number 1. So I think they'll do it that way. But yeah, Jackson's going to be fantastic.
So I think I might play value next year. I don't know. I think
it's going to cost you too many trades. I don't know. I think this year's kind of taught me a little bit about the game changing. Like, I know that starting a really good starting team is important and things like that. But I think one of the things that punished you and me, Joe, a lot this year was having too many spots on field to upgrade because we went mid-price or because we went value. Yeah. I think next year you have to lock in the positions and say, okay, I'm not going to go mid-price or heavy. I've only got 8 spots left to fill in my team because I filled it out with premiums who are going to be the top picks. Like, I think it's going to be too hard not to play that way next year because the game's going on for an extra week. It's a tough one, man. Like last year at this time, we'd have 5 weeks to go. Now there's 6. So it makes a bit of a difference.
Well, all right. We've got some teams. All righty. So, Essendon hosting the Doggies. Phillips is back as expected.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday night. Phillips is back as expected, and Nick Cox is in, who I thought was going to be in last week, but he's been brought in this week. Jai Menzies stiff. Hind was the sub, and it's been a long time coming. But Sam Wiedemann, your time is up, mate. You're gone.
Is cooked.
He is cooked. Roast dinner. He's finished.
All right. I think the stream might pop out, but we'll just see. So if I'm gone, I'll come back. No dramas.
Bailey Smith in. Buku Kamis, Bruce, and Baker is also in.
Do you think Bruce
injured?
Do you think Bruce gets traded at the end of the year?
I don't know who's going to take him.
I'd take him at North Melbourne.
You'd take anyone at North Melbourne.
I truly, but I truly would take Bruce, not make him a defender. I'd put him back in the forward line. That's what I would do. I would legitimately have him as being, hey, we know you can in the back line and maybe we'll need you at some point, but a North Melbourne that's desperate for a second key forward.
Now, Big J. Oh, there you go. The internet is dropping in and out a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, Jonas. Weedman is in the bin, finally. Thank God. It's taken a long time for this to happen, but I'm glad he's finally out, and we'll have a much better team. We'll now be playing with a full list and not playing with one hand behind our backs. So we won't be giving the opposition a handicap at last. So interesting changes, nothing really important here. Everybody is still the same. I'm tipping my boys to win. Let us know, guys. What is your tip for this game? I have us winning this game. I reckon we get the job done. Let me know if I am delusional or not, but I honestly reckon we are a real shot to win this game. Globes, how's it going, mate? Welcome aboard. That's this game. I reckon we win. We then come to Doggies. Come on, Jen. Not the Doggies. It's 100% going to be us. All right. We then come to the next game. This is not in order. Why does the AFL do this? You know what? I'm going to go to fixture. Stuff the AFL. They can't even run a website to save their life. Honestly, they are pathetic. All right. We'll do it this way. In order. Lineups. In. Seamus Mitchell is back for the Hawks. Excellent. We've got cover again. I'm not surprised Maurice Rioli's been dropped. That's what you get for acting like an absolute flog on the bench. You don't shoo away the phone, mate. Dogs will do you like dinner. Get out of here, Jonas. Get out of here. You watch. We will prove you wrong. We will prove you wrong, mate. Don't you worry about that. Exactly, Anthony. 2 rucks, mate. We're gonna. This is the game. We're gonna beat English. We're gonna beat them. Don't worry. So yeah, Maurice, you don't do that to your coach, mate. When he wants to talk to you on the phone, you freaking answer and you listen. None of this bullshit on the bench. You dropped, rightfully so. Lloyd Meek's been dropped. Interesting. They might consider that there's no need for it with Nankervis out of the side. Yeah, should be a Richmond win. Should be a Richmond win for this one. We'll then go to the next game, which is Carlton hosting the Eagles. Lineups. I got English VC, hoping he sucks but plays well. Love it. Love it. I know. The super coach does that to us. All right. McGovern injured again. Honestly, if I had $1 for every time someone missed out from the Eagles due to injury, I'd be a billionaire by now. Cripps. Paddy Cripps is injured. Chera injured. Mate, what a great week to be injured. What a great week to be injured, to playing against the Eagles. There's some mercy. There is mercy at the end of it after all. Curnow, Cowan, and Hollins. Pretty sure none of us own these players anyway at this point of the season. But yeah, SJP, there goes your VC Cripps. You know what? It's either Walsh or where is he? This boy. Big Georgie Hewitt. I might trade him in this week. No Cripps and no Chera? Mate, this could be a huge score coming in from George Hewitt. I don't know, man. I don't know. I reckon. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. George Hewitt to the moon, mate. For 280K? Are you kidding me right now? George Hewitt. It's him. He is him this week. Yeah. 50 points. 50 points. Easy for Carlton. All right. Next game. McGovern concussion protocols. Yeah, but still an injury. Still an injury. Blue Breakers have the bye. Yeah, this is the same chances of losing. Mate, this game. Oh, epic match. No changes for Geelong. That is the sign of a dominant, strong team. Bailey injured. Oh, that's big. That is big. He is a massive out. Dunkley's a massive in, but Bailey's a massive out. Lyons dropped. Who was telling me that Jared Lyons was a good trade-in last week? Huh? Who was it in the chat that was going about Jared Lyons? He's been dropped immediately. Devil Rob is gone. Archie's in. Dunkley's in. But yeah, I'm tipping the Cats for this one. I'm tipping the Cats. Zach Bailey is so important. He is X Factor. He is class. You're right, Michael. If I only had one trade left, Hewitt to be the man. I only have one trade left. I think I'm doing it. I think I'm getting in Hewitt for my last guy. I think so, to cover for Green. So yeah, I don't know. I'm back in the Cats. Anthony McCluggage at that low price when he played well in hindsight was a sick pick. Yeah, but McCluggage is inconsistent, man. McCluggage, he has some spike games, the occasional spike game, but he's not top 8. He's not top 8 for sure. Cool. Who else is there? Jasper Fletcher's good. Wilmot came good. Mate, you know who else was good and was probably worth holding? Will Ashcroft. I'm sorry, Will, for trading you out. You've done a Dacos on me. You trade Dacos out last year because you think he's done. Just find another gear. Ashcroft, I apologize for trading you out. You are proving me wrong. You are a star, an absolute superstar to come. I have massive respect to you. Alrighty. Next game will be Kiaman. Why the hell does it have me at the bottom of the screen? Irrelevant game, I think. Swans going to Optus Stadium to play against Freo. Sarong is back. Huge. Hayden Young is back. Huge. Corbett is a good player. He's a good player, Corbett. And Frederick is also a good player. Ooh, Chad. The Chad is back. The brothers do not play together, but the Chad is back, as is Jake Lloyd. Gee, some really good ins here for the Swans. Really good ins. Some good ins for Freo as well. But this dude, that's bad. That's bad. Losing Darcy is bad, and losing Aish is also bad. I love it. I'm gonna go Goulden. Goulden without Aish. I like it. What's this? Chincotta to Hewitt, net not worth when you only got Chesser covering in defense. Yeah. I don't like Chesser as your only defense, mate. As your only defensive cover. That's not ideal. Global, we don't need to finish in top 8. We just need to score like a top 8 for 6 rounds. Correct. From here on out. Absolutely. That is absolutely correct, Global. From here on out. McCluggage, at that point, was not going to be top 6. Was not going to be top 8 from that point on. Good for Goulden this week. Exactly, Causa. It's really good. No Aish. That's why I'm really confident now. Just going with Errol Goulden for this week. I'm happy about that. SJP just read a tweet. Cripps might miss next week also. I have one trade left. Should I pull the trigger and trade Cripps? I only got Chesser and Marek as cover. Trade Cripps for a 2-week? No, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't do that. SJP. He seems to have turned the corner. He seems to be coming good. You can trade in a guy like Hewitt, who's dirt cheap, and have him be an extra primo, as opposed to trading out Cripps. I'd keep on to him. Jen's changed the captain to Goulden. Yeah, I think so. It seems good. It seems good to go, and there's no Sean Darcy to automatically give Freo first use. So yeah, I like the Goulden selection. Global's gone Walsh VC. Absolutely. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Absolutely. Going English into Goulden. Yep. Sounds great, Jen. My tip for this game, I know it's in Perth, but I think Sydney are a better team. So I'm going to go Sydney to win this game. Alrighty. Next game. Causa. I'm still backing in Houston to Dawson, but like Goulden and Walsh's options too. Very cool. Alrighty. This game, man, could be game of the round, this one. There's a few awesome games. Our game tomorrow night is going to be awesome. Geelong versus Brisbane is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. Let's have a look. DC is back. DC is back. And that means Jen will not be getting a donut this week. On you, Jen. This is massive. All right. So Darcy Cameron in. My check. Great, honest, underrated footballer. Johnson's been dropped, rightfully so. Billy Frampton, rough. Markov, also rough. But such is the nature of a champion team. Willie Rioli in. McKenzie in. Horn Francis in. Evans in. Dixon in. Wow. They have called on the brigade. They have called back the brigade. Jonas, see you later, skipper. You shit. Lord, holy Lord, oh my Lord, this guy could not kick a goal to save his life last week. See you later. Burgoyne, the sub, Mead, Young. Dill Williams has been dropped. Wow, poor Dill. He was sensational. For those of you that managed to cut through the bullshit of freaking Hinkley dropping him, he was huge. Great selection for those who picked them up. And Darcy Burnt-Jones is concussed from that injury, from that tackle. He's a very handy player, but look at these ins. Those are some sensational ins, man. Who wins this game? Who wins this game, guys? Oh my God. I still can't go past Collingwood. I think the only reason why this game is even talked about as close as it is because it's in Adelaide. But how? I don't know, man. Markov is the sub. Great sub, though, Jen. He's a terrific sub. Collingwood is winning. Well, you're a Collingwood supporter. It's hard to see you say otherwise. Tom Jonas, worst captain in the comp. Probably, Tone. Probably, I agree with you there. Global also not getting any donuts. Congratulations, Globes. Will Setterfield has been out 10 weeks with a stub toe. Talk about a He-Man. Stub toe, honestly, Jonas. Honestly. You're rough. Collingwood pressure too good. I agree with that. Their pressure's insane. Global says Port bounces back. Port now, have to go against Collingwood. Yeah. So all right. So we've got some division in the chat. Some people saying Collingwood, some people saying Port. I reckon Port Adelaide, if they get jumped by Collingwood and the crowd is taken out of it, then Collingwood's chances of victory just go up exponentially. If Collingwood get the jump on them early and take the crowd out of it, then I think they run away with it. But if Port is in it, do they sustain it? Can they match them early and go all the way? Your boy Huss also reckons Port bounce back. Look, it was a terrible game last week for him. But you can see with all these people coming in, they were missing a lot of important talent last week against the Blues. The Blues had the perfect storm. They really did. It's a sold-out game. Well, I can understand that. This game is immense. Between 1 versus 2. And these two teams are basically 1 and 2 in just about every metric as well. Like, these two are by far and away clearly the best two teams this year. So that is, it's insane. And Port have to make up for that early season demolition that they copped against Collingwood. So Collingwood will not fear traveling. But Port, it's a fortress for them over there. As much as I want Port to win, I don't know. I reckon Collingwood's too good. I think Collingwood's too used to clutch moments. I think Collingwood are just too used to high-pressure situations. They've experienced so many of them. Port have done so this year. But I just think Collingwood have done it for so long that it's part of their DNA. It's I think, yeah, guys like Maynard and stuff. Oh, for sure, Huss. This is absolutely game of the round. Absolutely. This will decide top spot. Probably, Causa. I'm leaning very slightly Collingwood's way. Very slightly. I'm leaning Collingwood. What do the odds say? What is the... Well, yeah, you can see how close it is. 185 to $2. It is dead set. A flip of the coin. Dead set. You reckon Dixon will go off global? When was the last time Dixon ever went off? That Dixon went bananas. Seriously. Big Ajay, he make a return.
What's up? Hey, Joe.
What?
Your boy Corey Wagner's playing another game.
We're not there yet. Is he?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. He's not been dropped.
No, we've gone past that. We're talking about Port and Collingwood, mate. Who wins this game?
Well, we've spoken before about home field advantages and how strong they are. Port Adelaide is very, very hard to beat at home. So even how strong Collingwood is, Port's coming off a loss. So, Ken Hinckley's got the fire up their butt. I almost want to say Port's going to win.
I'm going Collingwood only slightly. I don't know. I just think I have more faith in Collingwood than Port. I don't know. That's just me. Just me. But yeah, that is definitely game of the round. Jonas, no one cares about Collingwood versus Port. It's all about next week. Kangaroos last win, March 25. West Coast last win, March 26. Who you got in the big one, Joe? Mate, this is the granny. All other games don't matter. Heck, even September doesn't matter. It's all about Kangaroos versus West Coast.
Clarko decided he's not even going to turn up for that game because he knows we're going to win. So he's just like, stuff you.
Surely North get up for that one. If North don't win that game, then they're not winning any game.
If Griffin Logue wasn't injured, I'd say we're in with a chance, but I think it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be an interesting one too because percentage doesn't matter as much, but I think I truly believe that West Coast has the chance to win another game during the season. So they play us, they win. It's going to be race for the wooden spoon. We'll see.
You want Harley Reid. Just tell us you're going to tank on purpose for Harley Reid. Just tell us. Well,
how can you tank 40 points of percentage, man? West Coast are doing that already. So, we've got to tank the win.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cheers, Global. Really appreciate it, brother. West Coast Eagles rule says West Coast all day, no bias whatsoever.
It's going to be interesting if North Melbourne get pick one. Do we try and do what West Coast is planning on doing and trading it out and trying to get a few more picks? Because I could really see that potentially happening. Yes, I'd love Harley Reid. I think he'd be great alongside Sanders, who's we're probably going to get access to, and then Ben Mackay, pick 2 or whatever, which would be fantastic. Like, the AFL is not giving us anything after getting those 3, but yeah, it would be very, very interesting if, like, North Melbourne traded out pick 1 for a couple of first rounders, and then, hey presto, we get like 3 or 4 picks inside the top 20.
Brad, how's it going? Brad, Supercoach Pro, go Tigers. Yes.
Bro, I'm sorry that I missed out on the stream yesterday. I would have loved to be there. Hopefully I can jump on next time.
Guys, if you haven't subbed to Supercoach Pro, he does very good stuff. It's Brad. Absolutely. Loves to go on there and tell him that you think he's attractive and that everyone should swipe right on Tinder for him. It will make his day. He will be very happy if you told him that. So, Jonas, make sure Big J's nemesis is on for the stream.
Yeah.
Who's your nemesis?
I'm more than happy for Humphrey to jump on that day. Even if North lose, for him to talk smack about North, I really don't mind. Like, this is what we've signed up for, Joe. You know, when a team kicks Essendon out of the top 8 and you guys don't make finals again, like, someone can come in and talk smack too. So, yeah, it is what it is, right?
Mate, if Shannon doesn't come on, I'd be very disappointed. Shannon has to come on Sunday.
Nah, blocked.
He threw some fighting words the other week. Oh,
I'm
looking forward to this game.
He did.
West Coast Eagles rule says they won't trade pick 1.
Maybe. We'll see.
I doesn't want to go to West Coast. Look, you said, I don't know, apparently he's coach and said that it's not true.
Yeah,
so,
I know, like, I kind of referenced on Facebook, like, Perkins and how he basically said, I'm not going anywhere, that's not Victoria. But I reckon Harley Reid said this to people in the background. Someone's posted it, and now his club's like, nah, he hasn't really said this, but he has said this. So, yeah. I mean, it just creates more of a story, doesn't it? It pushes the narrative that West Coast want to trade the pick. So the media's got a lot of power as well in kind of what they say and what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if the media hadn't made up kind of the story to try and get West Coast to change it. You know, Caro went on about Stewie Jew getting sacked for weeks and weeks and weeks, and that happened. So they do have some power.
Yeah. All right. We'll come to the Giants versus the Suns. Giants in ripping hot form, coming off the win in Adelaide against...
Are they still able to make finals, though? Can the Giants make final?
Absolutely they can.
I almost want to say Giants are making finals this year.
They are. In my ladder predictor, the Giants make the finals. We've got Finn Callahan back. Matt Flynn has been named yet again. He's named every week. And Nick Haynes as well. But this is the Sunday team. So, obviously, it's extended. Nothing is set in stone. And no one really cares about anything over there for the Suns. So, let's have a look and see. Matt Flynn is on the interchange. He's not on the field, so it's not confirmed.
Yeah, it'll be like the Tom Campbell situation where, like, he's named every week, but he doesn't really be named. Like, it's just so they've got someone, if the ruckman goes down, they don't get penalised for putting someone in the team that wasn't named to start with.
Yeah, I agree. The Giants by 30 points.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting because next year, obviously, Hardwick might come in and coach Gold Coast, which will be cool for them. You know, bring some star power and things like that to the club. Something they've really been missing. You know, Gary Ablett came there and that was great. But having a high quality coach, I think, is really important for them because they've got talent across the board, really, especially
It'll be
with Flanders doing so well
Yeah,
now.
it'll be interesting because the Giants also have a Richmond coach, right? Because that's where Kingsley came from. Adam Kingsley came from Richmond, and obviously that is Dimmer Hardwick's game. So you would end up having two Richmond people running these two expansion clubs. That would be really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to see what happens. Gold Coast need to start living up to their potential because their older players are going to start getting a lot older soon. I mean, how old's the likes of Tuke Miller? He's not 22 anymore. They've really got to start stepping up. Even Witts isn't that young. So they're desperate to start stepping up and making finals, getting the most out of these players before you end up seeing kind of what's happening with Cripps at the moment. His body start to fail, things like that, and potentially not playing finals again. So, yeah, it's a tough one. They need to pull the trigger, and I'm glad they almost did. Like, I love Stewie Jew, being through what happened, but they've got to change. So they've got to make finals. Maybe not this year, but pressure's on them to make finals next year with the team that they've got.
Yeah. Mate, your boy Huss says sun's bright as a star, 40 points plus.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be 40 points, but it could be a decent amount. Is King still playing, or is he injured these days?
King is where is he? There he is. Full forward. King is still in, mate.
Okay. I think King's going to be the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's the Giants. The Giants are too good, too strong in hot form. I reckon the Giants.
Do we think Cornelio is going to have another game where he gets like 35 touches and has 80 Supercoach points?
Yep, that's a given.
Yeah,
that is an absolute given.
I am not starting this guy next year. I'm sorry.
Yeah, neither. I love it. Look at that. Constable doesn't play AFL again. Constable is never playing AFL again, Global.
Well, it's similar to how I feel about Matt Crouch, and I really feel like it's a case of, all right, they're just too slow for the game. Yes, Crouch was named this week, but I think more of a stopgap because Rory Laird's not playing. But I think they're just not quick enough. Midfielders have to be quick. Shai Bolton's kind of encapsulate kind of what they're looking for. And, yeah, I just don't think they're quick enough for the game. 6-6-6 rule has made breakout players and guys that can run so much better. And, yeah, it's just a rough one.
Causa, Gold Coast should have made finals. Yeah, absolutely. Gary Ablett that year was carrying them and leading them to a finals campaign for sure. I agree with you, Causa.
North should have made finals in 2018, but we didn't. So,
No GWS player except Briggs next year. Don't care as Green keeps going bad in the back half of the year.
I probably won't be touching Briggs either. I think Tom Green's doing exactly what Tom Green did last year, just with a couple of better games. Had a really good start, good value for the price, but never really changed his price in Supercoach, which is a big thing. Like we know with Libba, started at 570, now rated that like 650K mark. A few of the other players similar, even like a Brayshaw, a Merritt, or a Petrarca, go down and go up. But yeah, these players that when you look at their scoring and you look at the way they've done, they'll usually start the season and finish the season around the same price. And you kind of know, hey, maybe I shouldn't have started these players. Yeah. Unless they're 700K, of course. But, yeah.
We get to Melbourne hosting the Crows at the MCG again on Sunday, so extended lists. But we do see that Spargo's been dropped and Petty is injured. Tomlinson, Laurie, Grundy, Chandler, and Hibbard. I don't think Grundy's going to play this week. They're probably going to play him VFL full-time this week because last week there was no VFL. Last week it was an intra-club. So I think this week Grundy will be playing in the VFL.
I don't think he's going to play ever again. Not ever again, but I think up until the finals, I don't think he's going to play in the team. I think they've been exposed a little bit by playing both and lost the ruck battle versus guys like Briggs, which they shouldn't be losing. Like I said, while I was in the car before, two players that are both number ones can't play in a team together. It just doesn't work. So, yeah, I think they're going to trial the JVR pick for a while yet. Go him and Gorn instead.
Cook, Himmelberg, Schoenberg, Haitley, Nankervis, Crouch, and Parnell. Laird injured. That's rough. Michelini managed. Rough. Rochelle suspended. That was stupid. Scholl dropped. So, yeah, there's no way. I can't see a way where Adelaide win this game. Even Ben Key's in them that half forward, not even them on the ball. So, yeah, nah, it's not happening for Adelaide this week. It's got to be Melbourne by 40, 35?
Melbourne, yeah, I think so.
Jonas players out with the sniffles. Got to watch out for the white powder going around. Yeah, I know, right?
Yep.
Ball traded green a month ago. Cool, good on stuff. Would you guys still go template again with the start or try venture off? Well, I tried venturing off this year, and that's what bit me in the ass, Anthony.
Yeah.
I didn't go template at all.
I think you can go too far one way, and I think majority guns and rookies with like 1 or 2 mid prices is okay, but outside of that, you really get burnt really, really hard.
Yeah, for sure. SJP, Laird and Cripps out gives me a donut and can't even afford a Hewitt like you recommended, lol. Cripps 2 can chuck in the VC on him.
Yeah.
Trading out Cripps to 2.
If you can afford a Cooper Harvey, he's probably going to play all year, and I think he's on the bubble this week, so potentially he's someone you can bring in to cover that mid-forward spot. But, yeah, it's a rough one.
Yeah. Jonas, do you remember when I said Tom Green was out of gas and you bragged up, say Thunder? Where's he at now? Bro, he's done a hammy. People do hammies all the time. And I'm pretty sure I showed you as well. There was a tweet. There was a tweet of this guy, despite having done a hammy. Look at this. No days off for Tom Green. He is still working the dumbbells with a hamstring injury. This is not the look of a guy.
Well, your hamstring's not on your arms, Joe, so you can do whatever you want, yeah?
Correct, but I'm just saying, like, the guy's on a hammy and he's still freaking training. He's still training. So that's not someone who's out of gas. You look at him, bro. He is a man. He is him. Yeah. Don't worry, Jonas. He'll come back strong. Don't worry.
Someone's hammies who I'm really worried about this season and coming into his career is actually George Wardlaw's hammies. The guy had some issues during his 18 year, when he was 18 and things like that. And I'm very worried about his hamstrings at the moment. I think, yes, it's early days. Yes, you can pull through those kind of injuries, but he's been out multiple times with leg injuries this year. And, it's rough. I hope it's not an injury that kind of stays with him his whole career. Because he's too good. He's too good to be out injured like every 6 months or every 3 months, you know. But I can see it happening. Just sometimes, like, the game's painful like that, you know.
That's what I was talking to you, like saying, I was thinking maybe you guys wouldn't pick Wardlaw because he's clearly very injury prone. And maybe you would go Sardis. You would go with the Sardis Sheasel combination, and they played together. So that's the question. Like, do you take the gamble on someone who is so injury prone? Like, they've got talent, but you can't keep them on the park. There's a lot of players who could have been anything, but unfortunately their body keeps letting them down. And I think Fantasia is one example currently in the game who when he's on the field, he's really good, but he can't stay on the field. He loses his spot, and then he's not in anyone's best 22 anymore. Yeah,
I hope George isn't like that, and Causa will tell me the same thing. So, long way to go before that's a reality, and our medical staff and our medical history in North's not been great, you know, keeping players on the park and things like that, but, you know, the club's just going to rest him for the rest of the year now. It's going to be like, get your body right, play some VFL, maybe come in 1 or 2 more games, but we want to keep you around long term, and pushing yourself as much as you are at the moment just isn't worth it for like your long term stability in the game.
Yeah, correct. Anthony, if Melbourne didn't come back and they lost with a solo ruck, would we still have this Grundy news? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
And if the game is a very fine line. It's a game of inches, and the end result plays a massive role in the narrative.
I think it depends. I think it depends. If they had a solo ruck and Max Gawn completely got Max Gawn got dominated and was outworked by an opposition ruck and clearly looked like he couldn't perform, then potentially they'd go back to Grundy. But that's not the case. You know, Melbourne could have lost the midfield congested battle, could have come in and lost against key forwards, you know. There's lots of different factors, but most teams, and I'll say it again, most teams play a 1 and a 2 rucks. They very rarely can get away with a 1 and a 1, and Melbourne's dealing with that at the moment.
Global, if Grundy doesn't play all the finals, he gets traded this year. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams. I know there's a lot of North Melbourne talk, like on forums like Big Footy, like, hey, Goldie's going to retire. Can we get Grundy for a few seasons? We're happy to pay for the money and get his experience. I know there's a lot of talk around Carlton as well. If TDK goes, can they run like Grundy instead? That's a good team. It'd be hilarious if Grundy gets traded back to Collingwood with Ash Johnson and all these guys being injured again. But even a Port Adelaide, because I think his brother's from there and I think his family's from there too. And, you know, they've struggled with ruckman. So can they throw their hat in the ring and say, yep, come to us. You can play finals forever. You've got, 4 or 5 more years to go. Come and play for us. We'll make finals and yeah, you can live back at home. So there's half a dozen Melbourne teams that would take him. But I reckon a lot of teams in the league, even a Sydney, for example, you know, Hickey's probably on his last legs. GWS, maybe not as much because Briggs is there, but they'll still go for him. You know, a ruckman who's good, who's proven good, has so much more value than a key defender in the same position, and the key defender is worth gold. So this guy's worth like, you know, diamonds or whatever's better than that.
Yeah, I hear you.
He will be the hottest ticket in the AFL, and Melbourne, I hate them, will get like a first rounder for him going to whatever club he goes to, which I think is crazy. Just their trade value. Their trade value and what they paid pick 27 for this guy, and they'll offload him at the end of the year for a good first rounder. Like, come on, man.
But they also got Freo's first round pick as well.
Exactly. 100%. So they'll get Freo's first round, they'll have their first round, and then they'll get a good first round from Grundy going and not have to pay any of the money. It's bonkers how good their trade currency is.
And they give all of that to West Coast to get Harley Reid.
Potentially, if Grundy said, hey, I want to go to West Coast, yep, pick one for Grundy. Imagine that.
Yeah. Jonas, how much did he average back after last year? How many is he scoring now? I'll tell you that Tom Green's 3-round average is like 110. So definitely a big improvement on last year's at this point of the season. So,
but he has been slowing down. So that might just be a case of, okay, GWS has been slowing down themselves or something else has been happening, but he's not pulling out the 140s every week like he did at the start of the season.
He wasn't pulling out 140s at the start of this year. The highest he's gone is a 135 this year. He's improved his floor. Like before last game against the Hawks, he went 128 and 127 against Melbourne and Freo. So he's done a hammy. You can't predict hamstrings, mate. He's going to be great.
Just chop it off, Joe, and then he won't do it again, right?
Fair enough. Causa, for North, I reckon Goldie, Phillips, Greenwood, and Lazaro play this week, says Causa.
Is it Goldie? I'm pretty sure it's Goldie's 300th this week if he's named.
It doesn't say that in the milestones here.
Doesn't it? All right. Maybe I'm mistaken. I know someone posted it on posted it on Facebook today, so I wasn't sure if it was the case or not. I know he's getting pretty close to it this year or next year, so I thought it might have been right up there.
So yeah, Campbell has been named, but he's named on the extended interchange.
And Hanson Jr., the North Melbourne mid-season draftee, is also named as well, but he's on the bench, of course.
Jack Bytel has been named on the field.
Nice.
So Jack Bytel, I think, is in.
I hope Anthony. If Anthony's watching, I think you're fantastic. Please don't kick 15 on my club this week. Please. Don't make me feel too bad.
Serha injured. Wardlaw injured.
CCJ's a big flop. I wish we never got him. But it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Fantasia has not got the required blood supply to play AFL consistently. Mate, Fantasia injured his thumb trying to put his jersey on.
Yeah. Yep.
Unbelievable. Oscar McInerney.
But going back to Fantasia, right? It's a real parallel. It's a big parallel, really, between what Port Adelaide was like and then kind of the team they've got now. Because 2 years ago, Fantasia came in and Port Adelaide was at a different part in their trajectory. Whereas now with Butters and Rosie doing really well and things like that, he's almost just not needed at all. Even if he played, he probably wasn't going to get a game. So, yeah, it's a real testament to kind of how good Port are doing and how well they're doing because, yeah, they just look so much better 2 years down the track. You know, they've got half their tall defenders saying, no, I can't get a game. You know, they're off trying to offload their captain because he can't get a game in the team. That's how strong they are at the moment, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Green 73 and 70 in the last 4 games now for 3 weeks. Keep dreaming it. Yeah, and what did he score in between the 73 and 77? 2 120 pluses. And is he taking 3 weeks out now? Is he taking 3 weeks off because I'm tired? Bro, he's done a hammy. People can do hammies whenever they want, mate. What? Look at Butters. Butters has had 2 scores now back to back in the last 2 games, 81, 84. Is he done? Trade out Butters now. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's not giving us big scores anymore. Like,
yeah, he's cooked. It's a real testament, though, to kind of a player's work ethic and how that really influences stuff. Because, and even just the team's work ethic too. Like, I can almost guarantee you, I don't know if a George Wardlaw's out in the gym busting his ass, like doing bicep curls and doing all this upper body stuff while he's got his hamstring. I know there's quite a few other players in the AFL who would be, I'm on light duties, whatever. Whereas Tom Green's like, nah, stuff that. You know, it's not going to hurt me. I can't hurt myself further. It's not like I'm getting stuck having to do leg day, right? So, yeah, kind of the players that want to put in the work will do it. And the guys that, maybe, nothing changes, right?
Nothing changes. What is your tip for this game? Thank you. By how much?
30 points.
30 points?
All right.
Very nice.
30 points. I reckon, I don't think it's going to be the talls that combat us. I think it's more going to be the smalls that do it. The run and gun players, the ones that we can't mark. I reckon Gresham's going to go big. He's going to be not leading goal scorer, but I think he's going to go very well. Barring injuries, of course.
All right. I want to come to my predictor again because I did a predictor on my phone, and my God, it is probably the juiciest finals matchup ever. So I've got us beating the Dogs, Richmond winning, Carlton winning.
I picked you guys this week.
If Geelong win that game, this doesn't really matter. If Port win, GWS, Melbourne next. And then the next round, I've got Collingwood beating the Blues, Geelong winning. I've got the Giants beating the Dogs, Brisbane, us, Port, St Kilda, Melbourne, and North. And then the next round after that, on my phone, I've got Doggies at home, Essendon, Adelaide, Collingwood, Cats, Giants, Melbourne, Carlton, and the Lions. And then round 22, I've got Collingwood, us, Sydney, Brisbane. If Carlton get the dub there, will be huge. They're in ripping hot form. Freo, Dogs, Saints, Port. And then round 23, I've got the Pies beating the Lions, Richmond, Carlton, Giants, Cats, Crows, Dogs, Melbourne, and Port. And then the final round of the season, I've got Lions, Carlton, Collingwood, Cats, Hawks, North, Melbourne, Port at home, and that doesn't even matter. So then we end up with a finals series that looks like this. Now you tell me, is this not the best possible week 1 elimination final? Michael, you predict the changes week to week. I know it changes every week, but I did this one the other day while at work, and I thought, holy crap, this is the best possible week 1 of the finals ever. Honestly, you look at this final and tell me there's better matchups than this. Seriously. Any chance St Kilda choke on Kangaroo Steak this week? St Kilda pretty soft. Callum Cockman-Jones is injured again, though. And that's what could be the reason why they win, Jonas. But honestly, you tell me, guys, is there a better week 1 of the finals matchup than this? King's birthday rematch at the MCG. The Cats hosting the Giants. The Giants beat the Cats earlier in the year in Geelong, and they have a great record against Geelong. Carlton versus Essendon would pack out the MCG. Carlton's first final in a gazillion years. And then you got Port hosting the Brisbane Lions. Honestly, is this not the best possible outcome for a final series? Seriously. Let me know. This should be the script, I think, that the AFL should be trying to push to get to be the finals. Yeah, I'm pumped. Me too, Globes. Really exciting for the next 6 weeks. Can't believe it. And if we don't make finals, then so be it. It's not the end of the world. It's about the process. And I trust Brad's process that we've got cooking here. So I think this is probably the best looking finals series you could possibly have. Collingwood against Melbourne. Melbourne are the biggest possible obstacle in front of Collingwood's chance to win the flag. You got the Giants, who have worked their way in, managed to claw their way into the finals series with their new coach, who's got them playing good football at the right time. They make their way into the final series, and they do not fear Geelong because they got a good matchup. But Geelong's experience will just win over. Carlton versus Essendon, both teams who have got long storied histories of success, who in modern times have been unable to capture any sort of semblance of success like they did in the past. Neither team has won a premiership. Our last premiership was in 2000, so our last premiership win was not as long as Carlton's, but Carlton have won a final, obviously, more recently than we have. But I know which one I'd rather have. I'd rather have the flag than just a simple finals win. But still, the Blues are coming in hot. They've found their form that they had earlier in the year, earlier last year. They're playing simple, brand of football, maximizing their strengths, playing contested footy, pressuring the ball carrier, and getting the ball in quickly to their forward line that has suddenly come alive with the smalls. So Blues, I think, will get the job done against us. Port hosting the Lions at home. I think Port at home are too good. So you have all these home teams win. We got then Melbourne hosting the Cats, another absolutely tantalizing matchup. Seriously, how good is this match? It's a flip of the coin, as is this one. You'd probably back Brisbane to win at home at the Gabatoir, but still, massive, massive game. And who wins this game? Seriously, who wins this game? Maybe Melbourne? I don't know. Maybe. Their defense is really good, but if any forward line can trouble them, the Hawkins-Jessica Cameron combination could do that. But who knows? We'll just back in the top four. And then you've got Collingwood hosting Brisbane. You'd expect Collingwood to win that. And then you've got Port hosting Melbourne. You'd expect that to happen. And then you have Collingwood hosting Port, and Collingwood get the dub. And that, I think, is probably how the season pans out. But you tell me, is there a better... This is such an amazing matchup, honestly. I think the way I've set it up here would be tremendous. Carlton won a final 2013, won Anderson last one to final. Bro, are you seriously gauging your success, how successful of a club you are based on your last finals win? Come on, man. Come on, bro. You're barracking for Carlton. It's all about the premierships, mate. It's all about the premierships. Global. Huge changes at the Doggies if they miss another final series. Bro, if the Doggies miss the finals, Bevo's got to go. Bevo's got to go if the Doggies miss. They've got way too much talent on this list to not achieve more. So I think this is probably the best way to end the season, I reckon. Please let me know in the comments what you reckon of this, what you reckon of Collingwood winning the flag. I think if Collingwood don't win the flag this year, then that is a massive, massive missed opportunity and one that they will rue for a long, long time. Big J's disappeared, and I'm sort of done with talking. We've gone through the lists, we've gone through the talks, gone through a ladder, gone through finals, we've gone through a lot of things tonight. So I think that we'll call it a night here. Thank you guys so much for coming on and watching. Really appreciate you guys spending this lovely Thursday night with us. There is no footy tonight, so it is a chill one this evening. Please, guys, fingers crossed, will us over the line tomorrow against the Doggies. We got to win this to keep our season alive. If you haven't already subbed, you guys are all regulars, so you probably already have done so. A like on the stream would be much appreciated. And we look forward to seeing all of you guys on the Sunday night live stream where we do the fan cams. Would love to see you guys come and talk with us. A lot of you are regulars now that don't miss a season, don't miss a stream, and we love talking with you guys so much, even if it is without your camera, but would love to be able to speak with you guys. You know, Globes, thank you so much for coming on, as always. Jen, thank you as well. Love to have you guys on the stream on Sunday to talk with us. Absolutely. I'd love to catch up with you, man. 100%. I am traveling to the States in late August. So hopefully we can meet up before then. Cheers, Anthony. It was good to see you again, brother. Good to have you on the stream. And hopefully when we talk on Sunday, I'm in very high spirits. Good. Yes, Globes. I'll look forward to it, mate. Have a lovely weekend, guys. Best of luck with your Supercoach teams. Just to my final thing, I'm doing Bontempelli into Goulden. If you have English, great VC. And that's what I'm doing. No trades, I don't think, for myself this week. I unless Humphrey isn't named. I might just do my final trade of Humphrey to Hewitt as my final trade, and then call it a year. So thank you once again, guys, for coming on, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.